Hi, John Valsavari here, talking to you about criteria 4 for the software development SAT. This video is going to be mostly about what I want you to do, and there's some key knowledge I'm going to come back to probably in the next video, just because there's a bit to cover. So, looking at the rubric at the far right, our SRS, okay, is a software requirement specification. It's a Word document, okay? So while I do this video, I'm going to show you literally what I would put in that Word document. So we need functional, non-functional requirements, constraints, and scope. Okay, that's the first part, and you can get marked on. Next part, you need technical environment for your application, the intended audience. Okay, and the last one is just making sure that it's good. So you need to make sure it contains all these things. You want the document to look professional as well at the same time. So you want to add a title. You can make this look hopefully a bit better than I am, but what is it? Software requirements specification. Maybe pop your name in there as well. Now I'm going to leave this page blank. Then I'll come back to here. So heading 1 is this is just not Alt tab. There we go. Might start with our functional requirements. First, I put it in as a heading. I'll just put something there. Now, what you can do, the real benefit of using the headings is that you can then throw in a table of contents. Okay. Whichever one you like. Table of contents, that's fine. And you can see it automatically tells you the page number. Okay. But just bear in mind, so the shortcut I'm using here, is hold down Control and hit Enter, and that starts a new page. Bear in mind that when you add the next one though, so we did functional, now we'll add non-functional requirements. Just put something there. Notice that the contents page does not update by itself, which is a little bit annoying, but anyway, you just click on it, click Update Table, update the entire table. Okay, now we can see there's the next one. So functional requirements, non-functional requirements. Control Enter. Oh, that is annoying. Yeah. Okay, what else? Constraints and scope. Constraints. Constraints will be written as a paragraph or dot points. So you might have a constraint that I don't spend any money. So there is a cost constraint because of that. Next one is scope. Okay, so creating a subject enrollment application. This will be specific for McKillop College. Okay, this will only contain VCE subjects. Okay, so this, I'll talk more about what these are in a sec. Okay, what else do we need to add? Requirements, constraints, scope, technical environment, and audience. Okay. Technical environment. Ta-da. Audience. The last couple are Alt tab's not working for me, it's driving me insane. Alright. Use case diagram. Now these last couple, they're not specifically asked for in the criteria, but I want you to put them in there, okay? It's sort of like a subset almost of technical environment and audience. You need to know it for the key knowledge for your exam and that sort of stuff. So it's just a good spot to put it, I guess. So use case diagram, context diagram, and data flow diagram, which is called DFD. I'll talk about all those in the next video, these last three, but I'll talk about everything else now. I'll just update it. Update the table, entire table. Cool. So this just makes it look, nice and professional. Whoa, what's happened? Okay, there we go. Cool. What I would recommend for your functional requirements and your non-functional requirements is you put them in some sort of a table. Okay. That way it just makes it a bit easier to track. So you can just have like a requirement number. Number one, list available subjects. Okay, so that way when we've got an application, we're creating it, we're saying, okay, what's the first thing we want our application to do? Well, we want it to be able to list all the available subjects. Cool. And the next requirement might be students to select it, but how do you want to select it? So maybe students click on it, and that adds it to their selection list. So students click on available subjects, which adds it to their selection, or maybe call it preference list. Okay. Yeah, that's basically it. The number and a description. That's fine. You can put your functional and functional in the same table. Just make it really obvious which one is functional, which one's non-functional. And yeah, just keep going through. It doesn't matter if when you're making your program, you don't actually do all of the functional requirements, as long as you don't ignore that you put them in your SRS. So it might hit a point where you get to testing or something, and you go, okay, I've got this functional requirement, list available subjects. I didn't do it that way. Maybe I just put it in as a code or something, and that's fine. Okay, you don't lose any marks for that. But the marks here are all about you've got a really good set of functional requirements. Okay. So this was really just to show you a sample of what your SRS could look like, making it look professional, and how to do that with Word. Okay. So now let's talk about requirements, constraints, scope, etc. What is an SRS? It's a document that contains all the details that the program is going to be made. Functional requirements. This is what the solution is required to do. For example, it might need to be backed up daily. It might need to produce certain reports. It might need to display information related to the topic if you're doing like a Wikipedia style application. It might need to display the available subjects. So it could look like this. Okay, it's got a bit of extra information. Requirement number, requirement, description, comments. Okay, priority. So you could include the priority in that way. You could have low priority things, low priority features that if you run out of time, you just instantly just go, yep, don't worry about that one. Excuse me. You could have approvals. The approvals are more for, if it was a group, you had a project manager that needed to approve it and that sort of stuff, which is more for what an organization might do. But yeah, not for your SAT. Cool. Functional requirements done. Non-functional, this is all about the solution attributes, so it's about how well it's going to do it. So think about things like robustness, so it's not going to break. It's easy to use. It's reliable. It's maintainable. Okay, so it will, once you've released your software, it's going to keep working for an extended period of time, and you can make slight updates to it so it still works with later versions of Windows or whatever else it might be. An example of a non-functional requirement might be the system must be easy to navigate. Cool. Some more examples. Solution should be easy to read. Solution should load available subjects fast. Solution should look after itself, not require a teacher to run the application for every single student enrolling in subjects. I would say that one is very important, okay? Because if this solution really happened and we gave it out to all the students, everyone would say, well, what a terrible application. They need a teacher to sit there and log in for them and show them how to use it because it's really complicated. It wouldn't work, wouldn't be very good. So that's a good non-functional requirement. Cool, non-functional, done. I'm powering through them, so ask me lots of questions via email if you need to. Constraints. So this is about limits to the solution. So what is going to slow you down, I guess. Think about things like economic, legal, social, technical, and usability. So you might, usability, making sure it's easy to use. You might want to add heaps of these extra features, but you can't because it makes it too complicated, so you have to sort of lock it down to make it nice and simple to use. Let's say Year 7s might use it, so we need to make it really, really simple. Okay. Some examples here. Year 12's time constraint of 1 year. Year 12's cost constraint, we don't really want to pay any money. These are economic constraints, right? Time, money. Cool. Can't copy each other's work because it's a breach of the Copyright Act. We're talking about legal. Okay. Privacy Act might also be, you've got to maintain the data, keep the data nice and secure. Okay, another legal one there. Some students will not give genuine answers. They will try to give the popular answer or try and be cool. Okay. Which is a social constraint. Okay. That's more of a constraint, I suppose, you might deal with when you're collecting data. But it's just something you might need to think about. The technical constraints. Screen size is a really good technical constraint. Okay. Talking about hardware constraints there. Software could be another one, right? You're going to be, you've got a PC that you're working on, so there's a technical constraint right there. You're going to be making your application for Windows-based machines, okay? Because you have a Windows-based machine. You may not be able to make a Mac-based version because you don't have a Mac-based computer. Cool. Social. So I feel like I didn't cover it well enough there. So social. Think about if you had a younger audience, right? So think about if you're making a subject enrollment application and you wanted kindergarten students to be able to use it. Okay, there's a social constraint there because they can't really type using a computer. They can really only use the touch screen. Maybe they can type a little bit, but probably touch screen. So because of that social constraint, you can't add certain features. You're going to have to make it so it's touch screen capable, so it works with touch screen. Okay. Scope. Scope is like your contract. This is what you will and will not do as part of your application. Okay, so it's really, you might have an idea and you say, I'm going to make this, and it's really just sort of locking it down to be exactly what you want it to be. So for example here, a program is used to calculate payments is only going to give the final cost. Okay, it's not going to receive payment. It's not going to redirect people to PayPal. It's not a solution for payment. It's a solution just to give you a total cost. Okay, so it's sort of locking down what you're going to expect from the program. The reason for that is so that, if someone pays you money and says, yep, make me this, and you go, yep, I've made it, here you go, cool, gives you the final cost, awesome, now I need you to pay me for the program I made you. The customer might turn back and say, well, I need people to be able to pay me. And that's when you really want to have a scope, so you can say, no. The scope says it's just going to give you a final cost, so we're done. All right, I said I would make an application that told you the final cost. That's what it does. Okay, so the scope protects you as a developer. It's important for that. We've run out of time, so I will talk about technical environment and audience in the next video, and I'll talk about use case, context, and data flow diagram. Thanks for watching. Send me lots of emails. Best of luck. Cheers.